Good morning. So let's do a brief run through on some of the basic all of the basic tools that you will need to make spoon rings and fork jewellery. But we start off with the spoon rings, and this is just the bare basics. So yes, you can get lots of attachments, lots of extra bits. I'm talking the absolute bare basics that you will need to make spoon rings. So let's get started. Here I have a mixed pack of papers. We start off with 1,000. It goes through to 2,500, I believe, up to 5,000, up to 7,000, and up to 10,000. And this can be bought on Amazon. I believe this is about £14, and you get 50 sheets of variation or varying grits. So you will need that. Bolt cutters. I use a pair of 14-inch. Again, I got these on Amazon. These are about £18. And you'll need this to cut off the heads of the spoons if you do a band ring. This was the one that I started with. It's about £5 on Amazon. It's rubbish, but if you were just trying to get an idea if you like the craft or not, then it's fine. Once you've decided if you do like it, I would certainly move to a Stanley file. Again, it's just a generic Stanley file. This is about £15, so it's about 3 times the price, but it's far more than 3 times better, and it stays sharp far longer. The Silvo tarnish guard, and this one is the wadding, so just show you inside. And this will get, let me show you actually, it's pretty dirty. Just use this over it quickly, and it will take it back to clean metal, so you can then start your project without all the years of grime. Very quick, very effective. This is about £6 on Amazon. Again, I'm going to talk in prices that I know in the UK, so the prices may vary wherever you are in the world, but they should be fairly close. You're going to need a mandrel. So this is going to be to check the sizes of your rings once you've completed them. So if you've got a particular size that you need to get to, you can check as you go, make sure it's right. Again, these are super cheap. This one's a plastic one. What brand is that? That's a Dash, but £4 or £5. Amazon. Fantastic. Little rubber mallet. Again, £5 or £6. Not expensive. Amazon, fantastic. Need a ring bender. So this is a professional bender. You won't need this to begin with. When you first start, the best thing to do is to go on to Amazon, Temu, Alibaba, whatever it is. Get one of the cheap and cheerful ring benders for 30 quid. See if you like it, and then use it until it dies. Once it dies, then upgrade into a better bender. The thing is with the benders, there is no in between, so you're either paying really cheap for one or really expensive. You know, they're either DIY or professional. There doesn't seem to be a middle ground at the minute. It's always good practice to have a ruler. Again, a couple of quid, not expensive. You'll need something to do your polishing. You can do it by hand. There's nothing stopping you doing it by hand, but these are really cheap. I bought this for under £20, I believe. Again, Amazon, if you have a look at the brand, it's Hardall. I just use a generic polishing pad, and again, I buy these in packs of 50 for about £10. They come with a few different variations. I use them all for the same thing. I don't know if they're meant to be used for the same thing, but I use them all for the same thing, which is polishing. And yeah, fantastic brand. This is now at least 16 months old. Still works. So fantastic for a beginner, and this is definitely one to go for. It's got a little light on the back. Never used it, but whatevs. Pretty cool. You'll need some polishing compounds. They come in packs of 3, normally in the red, the green, and I think it's brown. Again, £4 or £5, not expensive, but you would use those to get out any minor scratches and things. So that's what you would use for the rings. And then to protect and polish, once you've made your ring and it's all finished, I use Silvo tarnish guard. This is the liquid version, and then just polish it in with a cloth, and then it will protect it from tarnishing for a good few months. It's really good stuff, this, and it gives it a fantastic shine, relatively cheap. I do sell this on my website, but I can't send it internationally because of the chemicals inside. The couriers won't accept it. But if you're in the UK and you want this, on my website I've got it for under £5, which is pretty much one of the cheapest in the UK. That's pretty much the basics of what you'll need for making rings. And if you tot it up, just a quick roundup. So if you've got your ring bender and you buy that for the cheap one, like I say, you don't want a professional one to start with. You're about 30 quid. You're about £12 on this, so say £30 for those two because that's 18. So 12, 18, that's 30, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, about £100, which is what, $125 roughly, or I think that works out roughly 200 Australian dollars. When I first started, I was selling my rings for between £5 and £8 a piece, and that came with free resizing, but it gave me a chance to build up a good foundation, meet lots of people, talk to them, find out what they want, and then you can slowly start increasing your prices as your skill gets better. But yeah, so that's the bare basics for the rings. And if you want to go into like the forks and the bangles and things like that, you're going to need everything that I've just spoken about, plus these. You'll need a tube for bending. You can get them on my website, but you can obviously use whatever you want. You can start off with a straw. They're very, very cheap. And that will give you an idea if you like it. If you do like it, then maybe invest in something a little bit more durable, like the tools on my website. And then you're going to need some round nose bending pliers. When I first started, I had a small pair like this. These are about £4 or £5. I had a pair like this. These are about £35, maybe £40. And I would go between the two. And that's because you've got the thicker base to do, you know, the bulk of the bending, and then you've got the thin tips to do like tucking in the tail and any finer work. I have gone ahead and put together a pair of pliers which are available on my website, which is essentially these two combined. So you've got the thickness at the bottom while you've still got the thinness at the top, so you can still do like the finer work, so you're just keeping to one set of pliers as you're working. You're not having to, you know, chop and change as you go. I've got these on my website. I think these are $19.99, but they're also part of my bending set. So if you bought the pliers, the two bending tools, it comes with free worldwide shipping, and it's around £65. So, you know, if you wanted to invest in some tools which are going to last a little bit longer, that's something to look into later in time. But to start with, cheap and cheerful. It does not matter if they break, because you're just getting your foot in the door to see if you like the craft or not. You don't want to be spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds and find it's not for you. It's like mandrel. These are about 15 quid on Amazon, a wooden one. Mine's obviously seen better days. And that's once you've put your bracelet through the ring bender and you've got your basic shape. If there's any parts of it which you want to sort of round out a little bit better, you would use this, give it a tap with your rubber mallet over here, and that will give you the shape that you desire. And then obviously, like I say, once you've had a go and you've decided, actually, yeah, this is for me, then you can start buying some nicer stuff. Like this one's, I think, say 18, 20 quid, and this one's around 60 or 70. They both do the same thing, but this is far better in the sense of battery life, in the sense of the motor is far smoother. And I know that kind of not here or there, but when you use it, you can feel it. So can you hear that? Whereas this one is far more rattly, but you expect that for the price difference. But it's still very good and does exactly what you want it to. So for a beginner tool, ideal. And then, like I say, once you've got your foot in the door, then you can start moving up to some nicer stuff. And then obviously get yourself a nice ring bender and all the rest of it, and look out for the one that me and Pep's putting together, because that's going to be fantastic. I haven't got a release date for that yet, but just know that every day we're throwing ideas around and we're designing something which I'm hoping is going to be the best on the market. Once you've decided if you like the craft or not, you can invest a little bit more. This wasn't particularly expensive, but this was on Amazon. I love Amazon, it's so good. And this was, I think, £45 or maybe £55. I've had this for about a year and a half. I will be honest, I've repaired the motor, I think, twice or three times. And what I mean by that is I've had to strip it, clean it, re-grease some bits, put it all back together, and then it starts working. But it still works. It still does its job. The sandpaper is fairly expensive. I think you get, God, I think it's 15 sheets or maybe 30 sheets, and that's about £15. And they don't last particularly long. But again, for the size and the price, this is a fantastic bit of kit, especially for cutlery, because the bigger ones can be a little too aggressive with it, whereas this is far more gentle. And if you do get your things caught up, or you touch it, you're not going to have to worry about hurting yourself. This is really a DIY tool. So very good for what it is, but not particularly a strong motor. Get this later in time. But this is fantastic. Again, use this for the polishing. You can put a grinding block on the other end and use it. I've never used that mine, but you can if you want. And that's it really. There's not really much more to it. I mean, if you're getting into soldering and things like that, then obviously you've got your pickling and your torches and all of that rubbish. But I'm probably not the best person to talk to for that. What I use is a plumber's torch. You know, because I am not a jeweller. Make no mistake. I make jewellery, but I am not a jeweller. It would be an absolute insult to call me a jeweller to other jewellers that, you know, they spend years training and doing their thing. I'm very much just a guy who likes to experiment and make stuff. So I've given you the best of my knowledge for getting started. This is what I use. It's done me very well. And if you've got any questions, just ask down below, because I'm more than happy to help out and point you in the right direction. And best of luck.